Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of Andrewsfootball.com. And with the 11th pick in the 2019 draft, who will the Cincinnati Bengals select? Well, let's take a look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, keep in mind, Marvin Lewis was the head coach there for the last 17 years. They went ahead and parted ways. They kind of needed to because after starting off 4-1, they finished 6-10. The whole time he was there, he went to 7 playoff games, lost them all. So they need to bring in somebody new and something different. So they're going with a young kid, Zach Taylor. He was the quarterback's coach for the Rams. Now, a lot of people may say, hey, look, he has no experience as a coordinator. Andy Reid was a quarterback's coach before he took the head coaching job in Philly, did a fantastic job. So I really like that. You go ahead and you're going off the Sean McVay tree, which everybody's doing. You're taking a young, bright kid because it's different than your old philosophy of going with experience. Hey, let's go with youth. Let's go with kids that are brilliant, up-and-coming guys in the coaching ranks instead of guys that, are tried and true. Hey, let's see what we get here because Sean McVay didn't have a lot of experience. Well, he's with the Rams. Boom, a couple years later goes to a Super Bowl. So I like the organizational philosophy. Now, keep in mind, you go 2-14, then hey, okay, I was wrong. But I like the idea of changing something. But it makes the Bengals totally unpredictable. Who knows what the Bengals are going to do this year? And more importantly, what are they going to do in the draft? Now, keep in mind, Mike Brown's the owner and the general manager. And it looks like through free agency, they've done a lot of the same things that they've done in the past. Some free agent signings that I thought of note here is that they re-signed Tyler Eifert, a top 5 tight end when he's healthy, but he's injured more when he's healthy. I thought that was interesting. You went ahead and signed John Miller, a guard from Buffalo. And then you re-signed Bobby Hart, your right tackle, who didn't really have a good year, but you gave him a 3-year, $21 million contract. So that's starter money because if you looked at my previous 2 mock drafts, I had them go on offensive line, which is something that they really needed to do. One big thing I want to note about Zach Taylor is he hired Jim Turner. He was the offensive line coach in Miami that was involved in the bullying scandal. Well, they worked together. He trusted and he liked the guy. He's a former Marine. Yes, you shouldn't bully. I'm not going to sit here and tell you shouldn't bully, but anybody paying attention to what's happening to Jonathan Martin now? Maybe it wasn't the bully. Maybe it was the guy who was saying he was bullied. So I kind of like that, even though it wasn't a popular opinion. He went with his gut, and I like that. And I think it's going to pay dividends because if you notice, they're going to keep the same players on the offensive line. He's saying, hey, look, I trust you. I believe in you. This is an area of emphasis. So if the offensive line's bad and we see Andy Dalton getting hit quite a bit, I'm going to look back on this and I'm going to be like, hey, man, maybe you should have gone offensive line in the draft because, like I said, I had them taking offensive line, but I decided to change my mind. I'm going in a different direction here. So, who am I predicting the Bengals will take the 11th pick in the 2019 draft? Well, like I said, I did have them take an offensive line. There's several guys that you plug and play on the offensive line, but I think they're going to go with what they have plus, the new John Miller signing in Buffalo. He could be a starter. He's going to be put in the mix. Keep in mind they drafted Billy Price last year. He got injured, but I think this guy's going to be a really, really good player. Cody Glenn, the guy they traded for last year, he's going to stay at left tackle. He's a good player. He had some injury problems also, but when healthy, I think this offensive line could be really good. And you have Joe Mixon, a guy who I think could be a potential superstar. He had over 1,000 yards last year, but he can do a lot better. So who are they going to take? Well, with the 11th pick in 2019 draft, I got the Bengals. Kind of a surprise here, but I got them taking Devin Bush, linebacker out of Michigan. And I want to be very clear. At 11, is Devin Bush too high? Yes, he is. Now, keep in mind, in my mock draft, I got the Broncos taking Devin White. If Devin White's not taken by the Broncos, is Devin White going to be a Bengal? Absolutely. But in this scenario, Devin White's gone, so I think they take Devin Bush. And here's why you take Devin Bush. In the past, Cincinnati's like bigger, more physical linebackers, but they don't have speed. They don't have athleticism. Have you seen Devin Bush's combine numbers? Let me read off a few of them. A 4.43 40, 40.5 vertical, a 10.4 broad jump, 6.93 3 cone. Those are defensive back numbers. So yes, he's a little undersized, but he's faster than a lot of defensive backs. You put those numbers against a lot of the safeties in this draft, he beats a lot of those safety numbers, but he was a tackling machine at Michigan, played under Jim Harbaugh, NFL head coach. Yes, I'm fully aware taking a Michigan guy is not good for an Ohio team. I am not lost into irony there, but you got an NFL head coach, you ran an NFL-style defense, and he was a big-time playmaker. And the one thing the Cincinnati Bengals need more than anything is speed and athleticism on that defense. So Devin White's gone, Devin Bush is there. Now keep in mind, at 11, is this too high, especially for a non-pass rushing linebacker? Absolutely. But this is a day one starter. This is a guy who comes in right away. And that's the thing about the Bengals. I think they need to take a draft pick who can come in and instantly impact them. If they take an offensive lineman, are they going to try to work him in there? And that's the whole thing. I don't think it's enough of an impact. Now, could you take DK Metcalf here? I thought about it, but I'm not really sure that you want to go in that direction. You could take a tight end, but after re-signing both their tight ends from last year, I didn't see that as an option. I did think about Greedy Williams, who would be a better value because the corner hasn't been taken yet. I think they like Fitzpatrick and Williams III there. So I think their outside corners are good. I know Denard, their slot corners in Kansas City right now, possibly signing contract with my Chiefs. But now keep in mind, in my mock draft, I'm not doing trades. But I think that if you really like Devin Bush and he's going to be your guy, then you really could get him a little lower. So I'm listing a few teams. I'm just throwing some things out there. The Tennessee Titans would be a prime candidate. They're a team that could trade up. In this mock, you have DK Metcalf, Greedy Williams, Montez Sweat. Yes, it was released. He had a heart condition just today. I'm going to get some more information about that because after the combine, a lot of people thought he was going to go top 10. In my mock, he's still available. Perfect fit for Tennessee. Could Tennessee trade up? Absolutely. The Oakland Raiders. Now, keep in mind, this is all going to depend on what they do at 4. They're going to use that draft pick at 24 27 to move up or down. But in this scenario, they use their pick at 4, and then they still have 24 and 27. If there's somebody that they love, because honestly, who knows what Gruden's going to do, but if there's somebody that they love, could they trade up? Absolutely. My Kansas City Chiefs. Now, keep in mind, the Chiefs trading all the way up there. They have an additional second-round pick. They could easily give up the first pick in the draft next year. What if they love Greedy Williams? They do need a corner. So that would be a really good pick. The Seattle Seahawks, they're a team that kind of always marches to the beat of their own drum. They're a team that could trade up. But a team I think that would be the most likely candidate to trade up would be the Minnesota Vikings. And the reason why is Jawan Taylor. This is the guy you could plug and play day one for the Minnesota Vikings, who do need some offensive line help. And it's kind of interesting to see how they evaluate the offensive line room. But here's the thing. The Minnesota Vikings just going up 7 spots, that's very likely. Because if you do like Devin Bush, I've seen a mock to the Steelers at 20. Now Tennessee picks 19th and Minnesota picks 18th. Those are the two most likely scenarios that you could trade down, because you can trade down and still get Devin Bush at both those spots. And I think that would be the most likely scenario. Keep in mind, I think if Devin White's available at 11, I think they pick him right then and there. However, Bush is not too far off. He's a little smaller. Played in the Big 10 or 19 or whatever it's called now. Didn't play in SEC, but I still don't think that's that big of a deal. I do like Devin Bush here because speed, athleticism, day one starter, and they need a linebacker. So that's my philosophy. So in conclusion here, thank you very much for watching this. If you are a subscriber to Andrews Football, you know you're one of the greatest people on planet Earth. All your wildest dreams will come true. But if you're not a subscriber to Andrews Football, if you look right over here, check this out. Right down here, there's this red button. Look. Bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. Wait till tomorrow when I break down the 12th pick